Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's program, the 20th day of the 21-day series. It has been an amazing journey, an amazing experience. And thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your questions, your experiences, your spiritual journey, which is a great honor to be here with you. I'd like to invite my co-host today, co-MC Tony, onto this screen. Thank you, Tony. Hello, Tony. So my name's Rita. I'm from New South Wales. Tony is from South Australia. So I used to live in Adelaide, and absolutely amazing times we had with Sahaj programs, functions, meditations. So welcome, Tony. Would you like to say something about yourself before we get into today's program?
Yes, I've spent many years practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation, and it's been a great journey. So I really encourage people to practice it, make it a discipline. All the things that Shimataji says is a great possibility, but you have to give it a chance, you have to give it a try, and you have to be focused. So I'm part of tonight's program, and all the throughout the nights have been programs where we can take those steps to make it practical, to have examples to live by, and to really begin to understand how it can work for us individually and for the collective communities.
That is right. So it is absolutely important. And as you said, Tony, to make sure we spend that time on ourselves and understanding our self system, on feeling it. So that 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, 5 minutes of meditation in the evening becomes very important in that journey and that growth to allow that Kundalini, to allow that connection with our spirit. So from I think just to, I suppose, before I forget, just to recap what we did yesterday, and following from that what we are doing today. So we did a little bit on our left side, working on our left channel yesterday, as we've been through the weeks, talking about our different energy centers. So the left channel working, looking after our emotions, our memories, our desires, how to balance those. An absolutely amazing technique that was shown yesterday with candle treatment, which works absolutely, the element of fire where we are using on that. And the main thing with that, again, as we are talking about the channels and centers, what we were talking yesterday, that pulling, imbalancing towards the left a little bit, causing that little bit of blockage. We're using the fire, we're using the Kundalini to bring it back into balance and good, healthy chakras, the vibrations flowing from there. Now, I'd like to invite Meenakshi onto the. Oh, hi, Meenakshi. Hello, Meenakshi is our lead today, doing our presentation on the right channel. Would you like to say something about yourself and the program you're doing today, Meenakshi?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. It's my great pleasure to join you on this evening, which is focusing on dealing with overactivity, or essentially how to balance the right side of our subtle system. So yesterday, Randhir took us through the left side and how to balance it, as Rita mentioned, and today we'll be focusing more on the right side. We've alluded to this side of our subtle system throughout the journey so far, but as a meditation practitioner myself, I can highly recommend some focused attention on either side, just to help really strengthen the meditation experience, particularly if you're someone who's juggling a number of roles in life, which many of us are. This is a great way to stay in the center and to be more in touch with reality rather than getting pulled one way or the other. So tonight we'll be focusing more on that right side.
On the right side, absolutely need that. Yes, I've been traveling the last couple of days, so I definitely feel the need for the work on the right side. So I am looking forward to the session with you today. So maybe, did you have anything else to add, Tony? Otherwise, we can.
Yeah, just to reiterate, so tonight's practical demonstration would be one on balancing and also clearing with the ice pack, or using the ice pack. So before people start with the meditation, make sure that you've got an ice pack
With you. Yes,
yes,
definitely. Good point, Tony. And yes, having that ready, and just a little tea towel with it to hold it there, or a little scarf or something that you can wrap it and tie, which most of us have at the moment. So that is definitely yes. So what we might do to start with, before I hand off to Meenakshi, is we'll just put ourselves in a bandhan, get ourselves in that little meditative space of ourselves. And we have done the bandhan many a times till today. So just to repeat it, we've got our left hand, which we are raising along the front, raising the Kundalini up. And with that, then we are circling. As it's the energy is moving, rotating all the time. The chakras are rotating. So we are moving our hand. As we move it up, we are moving the right hand, which is our side of action. Around we do. And a great way to remember the circle is we go from our body away to it and back in. So that makes it a clockwise direction. So we start nice and slow, moving our attention with our hands, just resting it up, and one knot for the first energy channel. And the second time we do that, nice and slow, feeling that energy moving, the Kundalini, raising with your hands. And the second time, it's 2 knots. And the third time for the third energy channel. And now we play, once we do the third one, we do 3 notes. Now we put ourselves in a bandha, which is the protection along our aura, the protection of the space while we are meditating in there, the vibrational armor around us. So we start from the left side, raise it up over our head, down to the right, and then back again. 2 semicircles, making a full circle, a full round around us. So we do this 7 times, once for each energy center. That's 2. The third one for the Nabhi, which is the center of our satisfaction. The fourth one for heart, center for fearlessness. The fifth one for our Vishuddhi at the base of the throat, the center for collectivity. The sixth at the center of our forehead for forgiveness. And the seventh, the top of the head, the Sahasrara, for integration. And 7. Very good. Thank you, Meenakshi. The floor is all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we'll start tonight with a few slides just to recap and integrate some of the information that we've been given about the right side throughout the days thus far. So if we could just share the slideshow. So we can see here, this is a diagram of our subtle body and the energy centers and channels which comprise this subtle body. We can see that there are 3 channels going up through the body, and the one on the right side is the yellow one, the one on the left side is the blue one, and the central channel is depicted as a red channel in this diagram. Yesterday we focused on the blue one, the left side, which is the side of our past. Today we'll be focusing on the yellow one, which is the side of our future or the side of action. In order to be in a balanced state, we need to equally utilize both of these sides and not to swing too much to one side or the other. The right side of action is how we express our desires and vice versa. So tonight what we're going to look at is how we bring this right side into the optimum state. So rather than overuse, which is very common in modern life, trying to achieve and do everything at once, we're going to make sure that our action is enlightened and it's more of a natural rhythm. And this is through very simple techniques. All the techniques we've learned throughout the days thus far have been very simple, and right side balancing is no different. So we can see in the diagram here, the basic balancing postures for the left and right side are given. So for the left side, we went through yesterday, it'll be the left hand on the lap and the right hand towards the earth. For the right side, we have the right hand palm upwards on the lap and the left hand facing backwards over our shoulder. So if we can all just practice this briefly, we'll be going through it in a more meditative state very shortly. And this way you don't have to remember, I'll guide you through it, but you'll know what the action looks like. So we'll go through a couple of practical suggestions in the next slide, which you can implement into your daily life to help temper this overactivity of the right side. So some really simple tips are to avoid use of personal devices first thing in the morning or late at night, wherever possible, because these devices are very overstimulating. And at times when we should be restful, we should try to avoid them wherever possible. Throughout the days, we've been talking about the use of elements to balance our subtle system. And an element which is most helpful for the right side is water, water in all its forms. We've been through foot soak earlier this week, but even a refreshing shower, a relaxing foot soak, and even staying well hydrated through drinking plenty of water during the day, all of these things will help to keep that right side cool. As we know, our subtle body is inextricably linked to our physical body. So if we're experiencing a lot of activity physically, this will also affect our subtle body, and we should be replenishing that water, which helps to cool it down. We're going to be using a different technique with water tonight, which we'll go through shortly. But another thing which is very important for the right side is to get enough rest. We might think, oh, we don't have time for rest, but having rest will make us more efficient when we are active. So making sure there's enough space in the day to rest adequately is one of the best treatments that you can do for an overactive right side. Very simple and very effective. So what we're doing tonight, you would have seen a little photo in the WhatsApp group today. Anyone who's had the opportunity to prepare an ice pack, we can practice this tonight. So all you need is an ice pack from the freezer, which is wrapped in a cloth or a paper towel to stop it being too cold. And this is placed on your liver. The liver is part of the Swadhisthana chakra, which is the seat or the base of our right side. So keeping our Swadhisthana clear will make our right side very strong. And the liver is an essential component of this. So we'll be placing the ice pack on the liver, which is just below the rib cage on our right side. And you can do this at home during meditation, but also while you're completing simple daily tasks. And even while sitting in front of the computer, it can be quite a passive clearing technique and very effective. The reason why it's effective is when the right side is overactive, it generates a lot of heat in our body, particularly the liver, which is responsible for our attention. So by cooling this liver down, we can help to bring the whole right side into balance. And there's just a little note here that ice pack is best avoided during, before and after meals, just for digestive reasons. We don't want to cool down that system too much whilst digesting, but at any other time of the day, it's very appropriate and very effective. So we'll hear now from Shrimati a little introduction on the right side, and then we'll move into some balancing.
The second side, on the right hand side, is the power by which we act. First we desire and then we act. Now this power, right side power, is expressed within us as right sympathetic nervous system. Science has come from the same. Science is in the gross, these are all subtle things that are within us. Now this right side power, which exists within us, gives us the power for our mental and physical capacity to act. Now this action takes place when we desire something, we want to implement that desire, then we go into action. One has to understand what sort of a power is this. This power is called as Prana Shakti in Sanskrit, Prana. And the another one, the left one, as Mana Shakti, is the power of the emotions, or can say of the mind. But you see, English language is not so clear-cut about it. So I would say Mana Shakti and a Prana Shakti. These are the two powers that exist within us, and we start using them as left and right, we can say like a brake and an accelerator, and then we become the master of driving. But while becoming that, we make mistakes. The human mind has a speciality to go to extremes. Supposing I tell somebody, now you have to meditate. They'll meditate for 5 hours. There is no need to meditate for 5 hours or anything. But if you tell them that you have to stand on your head, they'll do it for 10 hours. So there is no need to go to extremes. We have to be just in the center, be kind to our body, be kind to ourselves. There's nothing to be frantic about. There's nothing to be so much exasperated about it. It's just very simple thing that has to happen. For example, think of a seed which is sown in a very loud music, or say a place where everybody is rushing, shouting, screaming. What will happen? That seed will never sprout. If it is in a peaceful place, is a properly placed one, or not in a tilted pot, then it will definitely develop into a beautiful tree or a beautiful shrub, whatever it has to develop into. In the same way, if we are too much on the extremes, we go to the left and
So as Shrimataji has mentioned in the extract, it's very important for all of our balancing techniques to be very natural, very gentle, and to be kind to ourselves, not to force anything. So this is a living process, a spontaneous process, and it's our role to allow it to happen. So that's what we'll try to do tonight. We'll start with some balancing of the right channel. But before we do that, we'll just take both our hands and we'll bring them palm upwards just in front of our heart. So hands towards the photo on the screen. We use Shrimataji's photo as a focus because she has a very strong kundalini. So it's a nice focus for our meditation. So both hands at heart level, facing palm upwards. We'll close our eyes if we're comfortable to do so, or just focus on the red spot on Shrimataji's forehead, just gently. We'll try to be aware of any sensation that we're feeling on our palms, any heaviness, any lightness we might be feeling. Just be aware of these sensations for a few moments. We'll be checking in every now and then throughout the program to see how our state is changing. So we'll bring our hands now back onto our laps. And we're going to do right side balancing. We'll be taking a simple affirmation. So an affirmation is a positive statement which helps to guide our energy. And it can also be in the form of a mantra, but tonight we'll be just taking a simple English affirmation. So we place the right hand open on our lap, like we saw in the diagram, the left hand upward and facing backward over our shoulder, almost like a chimney. And if you're comfortable here, please close your eyes or just gently rest your attention on Shrimataji's photo. And we'll take inside a simple affirmation. Mother Kundalini, please remove any excess heat from my right channel. While you repeat this affirmation, just let your attention rest at the top of your head. Mother Kundalini, please remove any excess heat from my right side. This simple action allows any heat from the right side to be absorbed into the element of ether. When you're ready, if you've closed your eyes, just gently open them. And we'll rub our palms together quickly. And then we'll again open them at the level of our heart. Hands facing towards the photo. And just try to be aware of any sensations that you're feeling now. Has there been any change? Okay, we'll bring our hands back onto our lap. Now we'll be doing the ice pack treatment for 5 to 7 minutes. So during this treatment, we'll be sitting in silent meditation, but we place the ice pack on the liver, which is on the right-hand side at the base of the rib cage, and we can either hold it there with our left hand, or if you have a little scarf or something, you can tie it there so that you don't need to hold it. And if you're comfortable during this time, you can keep your eyes closed and let your attention rest at the top of your head. If you find it easier to focus on something, you can just focus gently on the photo. And we'll be listening to some music to help with the meditative state. So just let your attention rest at the top of your head, and the ice pack will naturally cool your liver. If you need to remind yourself where to put your attention, just gently press the top of your head every now and then, and we'll have some flute music. And if you don't have an ice pack, no problem. You can also just place your left hand on your liver. you feel your attention wandering, just place your hand again gently on the top of your head and bring it back down. And we'll just do another check-in on our subtle state. So if you're holding the ice pack in place, you can release it for a few minutes here. We'll just bring our attention back up to the top of our heads. And we'll raise our hand to give a little space between the head and the hand. Try to be aware of what you're feeling in this space.
Suggestion. Everyone, still. So I would suggest put your right hand towards me and left hand up. Right hand towards me. And left hand up. Did you hear that? आवाज येऊन राहिला आवाज कसला येतो
रेल्वेचा इंजिनचा आवाज
तुमच्या
रेल्वे इंजिन सर टाइमशीर होऊन राहिले
टाइम सुरू होता
सगळं विशुद्धी निघून राहिली
शुद्धी निघते
संपूर्ण राईट विशुद्धी निघते
जस्ट डू इट लाईक दॅट राईट विशुद्धी राईट I think put your left hand on your liver. Left hand on your liver.
Now just watch me without thinking. And forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgive everyone. Forgive everyone. Best is to say once Lord's Prayer.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
May God bless you. आता काय म्युझिक वगैरे करा. Forgive. 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 नहीं ह्यांचं आता म्युझिक.
Can you arrange your music program, singing program?
Watch me here. Put your attention to my red spot here.
So that meditation was Shrimataji guiding us through clearing of the whole right side, starting with a focus on the Swadhisthana chakra and the liver. As we mentioned earlier, the Swadhisthana is the seat of the right side. So the state of our Swadhisthana affects the whole right side. So very important to focus on that one when we're starting to clear the right side. She's also asked us to take the Lord's Prayer, which is very effective for the center here on the forehead, the Agya. We've been through this on one of the other days also, but this is one of the other gateways to the right side. So both gateways are Swadhisthana and Agya. If we can clear these two centers, we can keep our right side very well in balance. We're going to do another check-in now on the vibrations or what we're feeling on our subtle state. So we'll bring our hand again to the top of our heads. Apply a gentle pressure. Then lift your hand to leave a little space. We just place our attention in this space. Try to be aware of what we're feeling here. We're going to bring our hands down again and just rub the palms together and open them again at heart level with the hands facing towards the photo. If you're comfortable, just close your eyes here and we're going to put the attention on our palms, just to see what we're feeling after these different clearing techniques. We're just going to post a simple poll for any attendees on Zoom. If you'd like to participate, to let us know how you're feeling at this point in the meditation. Thank you for participating. It looks like most of us are having a really good experience tonight. For anyone who's not feeling anything or is a little unsure about what they're feeling, don't worry at all. Your confidence in this will grow as your practice continues. So it's nothing to be worried about. As long as you're feeling some calm and peace to start with, that's a very good sign. And as you go on, you'll become a little more confident in the sensations that you might be feeling. But it looks like plenty of us are feeling plenty of cool on both hands, and some of us cool on one hand and maybe a little less on the other. This is the way that we assess how we're going on an energy level. So it's good to keep checking in like this. And as you progress with your practice, you'll pick up more techniques to help balance what we're feeling on each side so that they both become cool, ideally. So what we're going to do now is move into just a few minutes of silent meditation before we wrap up the program. So we'll all bring our attention just to the top of our heads again. This is at the point where the Kundalini joins with a greater power. So we might call this the power of the universe or nature or the all-pervading power, whatever you like to call it. And when our attention reaches this point, we can move beyond our thoughts. So after our clearing our right side tonight, we'll try to enjoy a few minutes with less thoughts or no thoughts if possible. If you find your thoughts are creeping back in, just bring your attention back to the top of your head. And you can say inside, I forgive. Like Shamaji said during the clearing session, I forgive. This helps to slow down the thoughts. So we'll just have some instrumental, some cello music to help us with these few minutes of silent meditation. We'll just finish the meditation for this evening by again raising our Kundalini and putting ourselves into Bandhan as our host directed us at the beginning of the session.
Thank you, Meenakshi, for an absolutely surreal experience. I was glad to see when you did a poll that everyone had some experience in one form or the other, either change in their vibrations, the intensity of what they were feeling, or just settling down of their thoughts, the depth in meditation. And that's what it's all about, yeah, just that growing through our day to day. And as you said, looking at what our vibrations are, our soul system is, and then working on those using these techniques that we have been teaching and we are learning. And it's a continuous growth process, isn't it? I think as a living energy, it is an absolutely, it never gets stagnates. It's we're always learning something or the other. And yeah, thank you so much. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful meditation. And I think the one thing I find with what we have done as the liver treatment or the ice pack we put on the liver is one of the liver treatments, and liver is actually also the seat of our attention. It provides the energy for the white matter in our brain, so it helps. So having a hot liver results in having that frittered attention in kind of that ADHD kind, space that we're going, where we can't settle, we can't sit, we're feeling that agitation, the thought process, all of those things. So the liver treatment, the ice pack that we did today, is an absolutely fantastic tool to help settle that attention down. Do you find, did you mention you were a student?
I'm not sure that I did, but I am a student and also a full-time worker and mother of a young baby. So a few different roles, but the right side clearing is absolutely beneficial in streamlining everything. And the ultimate goal is really to achieve that thoughtlessness or that rest for our mind.
And that liver treatment, settling and cooling that liver, just helps that settling of the attention, helps in concentration when we are studying or with, even at work and things like that. But I think the other things that, caught my attention was when you were saying that to look at Srimataji's photo or the red spot on Srimataji's head, and that her vibrations are very strong. And that is, that is true. That as my experience, as far as, the way I look at it is, we've all got, when we are meditating, all our energy, the Kundalini, is made up of numerous strands. So it's all coming up as we meditate more, as our depth in meditation grows, more and more strands are coming up. And this is what's allowing us to feel our vibrations and our subtle system. But we also then grow to feel vibrations of other people, to help other people by giving energy. Whereas Srimataji, finding the technique of growing the, giving realization, all that, she literally then works. I suppose, the way I look at it in science, you talk energy is always moving, hot and cold, there's always moving, balancing out. Where there's low energy, the energy is being absorbed from high. So for us, it literally works as the reservoir of energy. So when we're sitting there for meditation, that's basically what's happening. And I think Tony, sorry to disturb your attention, he was happily in meditation there. So how would you say that, like in terms of recommending how we could then utilize this to help us in our meditations and in our growth of strengthening our Kundalini, Samaj?
Well, the right side energy, especially from the base, where it's activated from the Swadhisthana, is so very important that we need to be actively engaged in, involved in things to achieve things and things like that. But the Swadhisthana, when it's active, we find that we're very creative. It's a storehouse of energy within us that we just want to do things. But with all the distractions and with all the busyness of life, we're just using up so much of our energy into our everyday demands. But so the great thing about this meditation is that you can have time out. But the meditation is not just the process where I'm sitting down to meditate. You can be at a nature spot, like the background picture there, or be at the sea, or see a sunset or a sunrise, be in a beautiful park, look at some beautiful flowers. And these all to grab your attention, because through the Swadhisthana, we seek that beauty. We desire to create beauty, to have a sense of completion through something that is artistically or creatively beautiful. And one of the great things in Sahaja Yoga is that we have Shrimataji that has taught and guided us. And with that picture of Shrimataji there, if you do have one, it's a must to meditate with the picture, because the beauty of the photo, the beauty of the vibrations of love that you would feel from it, so it's important for us to meditate with the picture, and with that to set up an altar. So the idea of setting up an altar is a place of beauty. So you have flowers, you have the light of the candle, you have the picture, you have incense there. You have a beautiful cloth and surrounding over the for the altar table, and so this puts you in a place. It takes you away from your everyday busyness, your everyday family, your everyday cooking, your everyday phone calls and meetings and stuff like that. So it puts you in a place where you can just be in meditation. And the whole thing with we're always on about purity of attention. Well, this, having a beautiful altar with flowers and the light of the candle and the photograph of Shrimataji, just draws your attention in. It just draws your attention to the beauty, and then you're in a different place. And you're in the place of what Manaski said is the establishment of thoughtless awareness. Once you're in thoughtless awareness, your attention is pure, because there's no thought, and the vibrational field is what you will experience daily and build upon that. So yeah, it's really important to have something beautiful before you. Seek beauty, create beauty, enjoy beauty, and beauty is in nature, in what you do. Beauty is into the interaction with your friends, into watching children play, playing with children. Also, it's everything in nature really, because it's just a creative beauty that has evolved, and we evolve to become conscious of that through our meditation experience and through the experience of Sahaja Yoga and the teachings and the guidance that Shrimataji gives to us.
That's right. Thank you, Tony. That's right. Tapping into that beauty within yourself, of your spirit, of feeling that joy of, love, the connection with the divine and with everyone. That feeling of joy you seeing, just feeling the vibrations and being in that moment to enjoy. That is, and as you said, yes, the altar, and also having the candle is that we are using the fire element. If you're putting the incense, that's the earth element. So again, we are utilizing that the elements that we talk about that are within ourselves. So to kind of achieve that syncing the vibrational balance within ourselves. So going from that, I just wanted to quickly mention we will do a question and answer session. So if I think they have opened the chat, so if you can pop your questions on there, please. And just quickly reminding that we are having the mentorship program that is starting at the end of the 21 days. So absolutely fantastic initiative. So please make sure you register yourself at thefreemeditation.com.au, where at the bottom of the screen there's a little button to register your interest for that. And also once that, there we go, it's just coming up on the screen, the mentorship registration form. It's slightly tilted, but it will straighten up in 1 second. And thank you. And also to once the 21 days, because sadly it is the 21st day tomorrow and the last day of the 21 day series, but we will be continuing to the next stage. So we're kind of like an intermediate session, a little bit more in depth. I'll let them announce that tomorrow, but it will be twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. So same time, same place, just an extension from the 21 day program. And I think in March they're starting a 21 day program in USA, and where was the other one?
Malaysia.
Well, thank you very much, Sangeet. So US and Malaysia. So there's another one starting there. And tomorrow's program, we've got Tyrone and Leah as your MCs. And we've got presenters Prasad and Joe, who are doing an absolutely amazing session, fascinating about the integration of all the stuff that we've learned, all how the energy centers, how the chakras, the vibrations at the Sahasrara. It is an absolutely brilliant session. Please don't, not to be missed, yes, to understand the whole story of up to now what we have done, integrating, culminating at the Sahasrara. Do we have any questions? No. Oh, well, that is very good, actually, in a way. That means everyone. So there we go. So Meenakshi, did you want to add anything else?
I think we've covered everything very nicely today. Just a reminder to everyone to keep up your experimenting with clearing the right and left side through the techniques that we've learned today and yesterday and throughout the other days, and just keep on reassessing what you're feeling and how your meditation's going. And you'll notice a lot of improvement with little practice. So you don't have to go, like Shramataji said, no need to meditate for 5 hours. 5 to 10 minutes morning and evening, you'll find really very beneficial. And please feel free, if you don't answer a question now and you think of something later, please feel free to post it in the WhatsApp group. There are many of us that are ready to help offer solutions or discuss with you.
Now I have a little question for you. You showed us about the ice pack treatment that we did today, and we've done foot soak sessions and that. So can we do an ice pack with a foot soak, or how would you kind of integrate those, or is it still warm water, or?
That's a really good question. So when Manish went through foot soaks, he did mention about so assessing left and right side and the season as well. So if it's very cold outside, you don't want to have a really cold foot soak. You can have a nice lukewarm or just room temperature foot soak. The same principle could be applied to ice packs. So if it's very cold in temperature, the ice pack might be a little extreme for that situation. So just be guided by your common sense and intuition would be a good idea. And you can certainly combine foot soak and ice pack or a more intensive right side treatment if you would like to do that.
Fantastic. So, and then you would use a cold water or a lukewarm water foot soak, would that, not a hot one?
Water or lukewarm water would be a perfect match for the ice pack.
Because we're still trying to pull the right side.
Yeah, and you'll find with practice that all of these things, you can see what feels good to you and what feels maybe not so good. It's all about checking in with what you're feeling and trying to become more conscious of that feeling, because that's a real reflection of our inner state, is what we're feeling.
It's the vibrations of what we're feeling on our hands and how it is. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now,
thank you for having me.
No. We've got a couple of questions. You're not going anywhere yet, Meenakshi. We've got Abhinav saying, I feel I'm able to meditate more through the affirmations rather than music.
Well, that's wonderful. In that case, I would then continue. It's really important to focus on what is working well for you. Music can be very beneficial because, especially if it's the right kind of music, it can help resonate with our chakras. But you might be in a state where affirmations are more important for you. So just follow that flow. As long as it feels good for you, just keep on with that and keep them nice and simple.
And the affirmations are also, I suppose, help to clear out the energy centers, because they are what the qualities are, or what, that desire of expression to get the Kundalini or the mother energy to come in and start kind of working there. So it's that expression, using our left side, in expressing that affirmation and doing that. So yes, absolutely. As you said, you can do either or both, depending, and you'll probably find, or at least I find that, yes, sometimes if you've had a busy day, that you've done the ice pack, you've calmed that down a little bit, you might have done a foot soak, balanced and cleared, and then you just sit in that meditation. So it can be, in that thoughtless stage, or with music, just resonating with that and going into that kind of thoughtless state, and just enjoying the vibrations then. So, and Tanu Rao has a question. Giving bandhan to others, how often should it be given?
So, Tanu, I'm guessing that you're talking about if you have some concern about somebody, you might be giving a bandhan to them. Is that the context in which you're asking?
You can put your speaker on, Tanu, and have, instead of just typing it in the chat. And while we're waiting for Tanu to say, maybe you can just give us a little demonstration of how we do bandhan when we are doing bandhan for someone.
Yeah, so Tanu's just come back and said, yes, that's the context that she's referring to. So you can do this as often as you like. Yeah, so if you're having, if you're concerned about someone's well-being or their state, you can express that concern on a subtle level, so in a positive way, by what we call giving a bandhan. So Tanu's obviously familiar with this already, but basically what we do is we just, put my hand on the camera, sorry. So we take our left hand and we keep the palm open. And with the right hand, we make a circular bandhan motion in a clockwise direction around the palm of the left hand. And while we do this, we're keeping our attention on the person that we have some concern for. And if you find it helpful, you can also ask inside, just to the divine power, please take care of this person, and mention their name. Okay, and we do this bandhan until we feel the energy becoming cool. So we're paying attention to the sensation on our left palm. It might not always become cool straight away. Don't stress. You don't have to keep going for an hour. Let it be, and then return to it later. So if you feel that the cool's not coming, you can keep on revisiting. So there's no hard and fast rule as to how often you do it. But I would just suggest that if you feel it's not clearing up straight away, just leave it for some time and then return a little bit later.
That's right. Yes. Thank you so much, Meenakshi. And of course, you can, if you're finding it difficult in terms of settling your attention that way, you can always write their name or even the issue with the name, and then put a bandhan. And you can do that for yourself. If you're having a trouble, you're having some problem at work, just writing that and then putting that in a bandhan. And it's a way of surrendering it to the divine to work out. You're kind of accepting that, yes, the divine, that's it. We're just acting, we're just doing the action, and we kind of leave the results to the divine for it to work out, and watch the play. So definitely, thank you, Meenakshi, that was wonderful. Now, anything else? If not, we might just settle. We have had such a beautiful meditation in that, just a couple of minutes of silent meditation and put ourselves. I think we've got some music that we can play to finish off if there's no other questions coming up. And we can just sit in meditation and log off whenever we like. Yeah? Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Meenakshi, and thank you for our wonderful tech team. We had Sangeeta and Karan join us from US and Parth from Adelaide that helped us through today.
Ooh.